The separation of a massive iceberg shows how precarious the Antarctic ecosystem is. What are Larsen A, B, C? And how are they tracing the path of climate change over a period of time? How Arctic and the Antarctic Oceans are responding for climate change? What are the concerns associated with the changing geographical features of Antarctica? GS Paper 1, Changes in Critical Geographical Features, including water bodies and ice caps. What is the context about? Multiple NASA satellites have captured images of the dramatic and long-awaited birth of one of the largest icebergs ever recorded, which broke off an Antarctic ice shelf this week. The dramatic but inevitable carving of a trillion-ton iceberg from the Larsen C ice shelf in Antarctica raises the question, did a warming atmosphere have a significant impact on the process? What are Larsen A, B, C? And how are they tracing the path of climate change over a period of time? Larsen C is part of what was originally a very extensive ice shelf, parts of which, Larsen A and Larsen B, have already disintegrated and floated away. Larsen A disappeared in 1995 and Larsen B in 2002. Larsen C is by far the largest shelf in this part of the Antarctica, covering an area of over 50,000 square kilometers. Now it has been reported that Larsen C had detached itself from the thick mass of ice covering the continent, and float way into the ocean as a gigantic iceberg. This means that these changes may lead to much more severe global warming and climate change than what is already happening as a result of anthropogenic factors such as burning of fossil fuels, cutting down of forests and environmental degradation. How Arctic and the Antarctic Oceans are responding for climate change. The Arctic and the Antarctic are different ecosystems, but both are very fragile. The Arctic is an ocean, enclosed by land, constituted by territories belonging to the US, Canada, Russia, Greenland, Norway, and Denmark. Thus the melting of ice, floating in the Arctic Ocean, will not add to net sea level rise. The Antarctica is an ice-covered land mass of continental proportions, which is surrounded by deep ocean. The mass of ice covering the Antarctica and Greenland, in the Arctic region, would add to the volume of water in the world's oceans and lead to significant sea level rise. If all the ice over the Antarctica and Greenland were to melt, there could be an increase in sea level of several tens of feet by 2100, inundating most of the major towns and cities located on the seacoast around the world. What are the concerns associated with the changing geographical features of Antarctica? Antarctica is a climate stabilizing factor, and the importance of the marine West Antarctic ice sheet was highlighted by US scientists over 4 decades ago. In the context of rising emissions from the burning of fossil fuels, a cautionary note was sounded on warming seas hastening the melting of the shelves that hold its great mass. Among the stark effects of changes could be a shift in biodiversity. Species like emperor penguins, which depend on sea ice to complete their life cycle, are at risk if ice cover declines. Any dramatic changes will only add to the worry of irreversible effects of climate change, given that the Arctic and Greenland have also been losing ice cover.